everyone.
Hello.
My name is Sheye.
My name is David. Why does
David,
it feel
why you
like
be
some
like
primary
this?
school?
Okay, let's start. Let's start afresh. This camera thing is just making it so awkward. Okay. We are now.
Alright, yeah. Sheye, what are we doing here? Let's start with that.
Well.
What is this about?
This is about, I don't know. This is about work. We're just here to really talk about this work life of the thing. I mean, people always feel like, work and your life, work-life balance. I'm like, work is part of your life.
They say it is like a third of your life.
Exactly.
Right?
And if it's a third of your life, then you have to talk about it. I think we need to talk about some of the issues bothering around the work life, your career path. Just as millennials and as young people, the scope of work entirely is changing drastically, or has even changed already.
Yeah.
And so there are just so many issues that we need to talk about. And so welcome to the CareerBuddy podcast, where we're going to be trashing all the trashables, dragging all the draggables.
Yeah, you already know how we do. So we might get in trouble for some of these things, but who cares?
Yeah. So pray for us.
Alright, so obviously the elephant in the room, horrible bosses.
Gosh.
That dragging it was not here.
Literally the corporate streets, blood everywhere. Like so my friend was like, guys, straight bullet just hit everybody. Like straight bullets was just eating everybody.
Okay, so which organization were you like?
Oh my god. You don't want me to start here. I think it was mentally aware for me.
Like how can you be about mental wellness? Mental health, and then we're dragging you for being toxic. Those two things don't go hand in hand.
Shocking for me.
Yeah, it was shocking for a lot of people as well.
If you pride yourself as being an organization that helps other people, be better mentally, and then your own how can the therapist even the therapist needs a therapist?
I saw somewhere someone said that the therapist that Manny recommended for them ghosted them during the pandemic. Another one said the therapist went to report her to her mom.
Therapist is very more. I mean, really, that was like the most shocking.
Have you ever had a horrible boss, as in one that you would say I
have
PTSD
honestly,
vibes?
Every single thing I have, and it took me a while to actually get over the whole thing. And I feel like the name we must not mention was very, very aggressive.
Which name? I don't know which name we must not mention.
The name we must not mention.
Which one?
It's not
with
So
why can't we mention? I even thought it was the other one.
Oh well.
Ebu. I said it. So, Bento in the mud. Put it wherever you want to put it.
So like that's like in your face aggressive.
Yeah.
It's funny literally say that this one is aggressive.
I actually have a feeling that I might have maybe defended him when that video first came out, because I was like the customer must have done something really, really bad.
I was bothered for you.
I was like, for you to be this aggressive,
like,
they must have really, really triggered you.
Who stole your bread, like guy?
Clearly.
But like that one was clearly aggressive, yeah. But like my own case was a lot of passive aggression.
Oh, those are the worst.
Just asking yourself, like, am I the crazy one here? Am I the one who has issues? You keep asking yourself, maybe if I try harder, if I do better, if I do this, if I push myself,
if I don't talk,
maybe I will finally get it right. But it's passive aggressive is passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, and just for me was a lot of emotional turmoil for me. And so I'll say that's like, oh my god, it was horrible. I had to like and when you're telling this person, I have anxiety, and the person say, do this, do that. I'm like,
and then the cause of the anxiety.
This is the cause of my anxiety. So I mean, after leaving, It took me a while though to just kind of get
Can
over
we
it.
name and shame?
I don't want us to name and shame.
Oh,
Not
okay.
from my mouth.
Share is chickening out.
Shall they hear?
For me, I think I've been pretty blessed. I don't think for me, I don't like stress, first of all. So if
Who
you're
likes
stressing
stress?
me, no, some people
Baby.
cannot do it. Me, if you stress me, I'm out. And I know people will say, oh, that's coming from a privileged place, but that's just the type of person I am. Like if I can't have peace of mind, like every day I'm going home and I'm thinking and I'm dreading going
And
to
you're
work,
dreaming.
I can't do it.
I mean, do you think you're talking from a perspective like, I feel like your reality may
Yeah.
be different from
Of course.
other people's reality.
Of course. So that's why I'm speaking for myself, that I don't feel like I've been in a place where I have probably even waited to have the opportunity to have a horrible boss.
Well, I
So I
think
don't
we
think
just
I
have
have-
varying circumstances. And if you think about being in Nigeria,
Okay, well, when you add that, I do remember I was working as a business analyst and got the job, and I was just wondering why this manager was on my case from the first week. First of all, I'm like, am I not supposed to be
To
like
be new,
onboarding and like
exactly,
they
yes.
gave me one project like this. I did my requirements document. All I heard was, David. I went to this guy's desk on the floor, right, and he was just like lashing me left, right,
Wow.
and center. This doesn't make sense. Da 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 da, and like literally the whole floor. But he was actually a really nice guy. But I was
so
just
why
like,
was it just like that
I
bad
think
to you?
because I feel like, this might be me making it up, but I feel like maybe he fought for me. Because
And
he was the one that
expecting
interviewed
so
me.
much more.
So like maybe people had already said, are you sure about this guy? Are you sure about this guy? And then he now sees my first document and it's like, it's
no.
not me, you were embarrassed.
So
But like
what
after that
did
we
you
were
do?
cool. We were cool. Like I even like recorded some songs for him because he does music as well. So like we gelled.
I think probably was just like expecting the best of you. And I mean, that's just the difference, right? I mean, there's a difference between a toxic
And
person
just,
and a firm person who
yeah.
just wants the best,
Best,
from
yeah.
you. And so they would give you tough love at
Yeah.
least to get
I was just like,
that.
at least romance me first. This is my first week. Which one is tough love from the first week?
I think it was just because of the fact that it was for you. Do you not prefer that like outright
Straight up, yeah.
compared to somebody who is really really nice to you
And then-
starting out
and then true, sha.
somewhere along the line you're just like, so that makes you question your sanity more because
true.
you start to wonder, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Am I the wrong one here?
I also feel like we vibed so well during the interview. I think maybe he thought he needed to show me that.
I have a tough part
Yeah,
to me,
when-
so
yeah.
don't you dare think that you're just going to take
You're
advantage
gonna-
and be doing rubbish here. I mean,
But I'm
that's
gonna say,
true.
I don't think no horrible boss, no. But my thing is, how do horrible people actually sleep at night?
Just the way you sleep. I
Like
mean, with
with
their
your
eyes
full
closed,
with your
their
full
phone
chest,
charged.
you call a grown man, you are foolish, you are an idiot, and you're okay with that.
I think, see, people are under pressure and we react to pressure differently. At some point, I would always ask myself, this very terrible person that we're seeing, are they terrible like this at home?
Some would be, and I guess some. The truth is, some people. This is another thing, and again, sometimes I find it difficult to speak sometimes because I feel like everybody just would shut it down as privilege. Because for me, I feel like part of the reasons why these people get away with it is because people accept it. The day you call me stupid and I call you stupid back,
That's
It's true.
Gen Z style.
well, we need a lot more of that. Clearly,
I just feel like, when we think about the economy and we think about how things are, like even the Naira is almost like just getting ridiculous every day.
Yeah.
People have families to feed.
I
Even
get
very
that.
young people have to take care of their parents, they have to pay their bills. Some left their villages to come and make it in Lagos.
Yeah.
And if they don't work, they won't be able to pay rent. They will have to go back to the village.
I hear that.
So, and when we talk in this way, I'm not quick to just tell someone, oh, you're going to this, quit your job because
Yeah.
I'm not going to feed you.
Of course.
But also, as a human being, as a person, I think you just need to get to that place in yourself. What are you being resilient for? Do you feel like, oh, if I leave this place, nothing good is ever going to happen?
Which is
in
a
my
lie.
life
And I feel like more people need to be affirmed that is a lie. You might struggle, you will struggle, but you'll
and
be
you may
fine.
not struggle. That's just, especially if you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
It's a separate thing when you don't know your job, so you deserve your boss. Like both of you deserve each other. But like you're good at what you do. You're putting in the work. You're doing right by the system, and then you've just been so unlucky. To work with somebody who doesn't value humans or doesn't have respect for people. I think you should ask yourself, why are you staying? If you know why you're staying and you have like a clear reason for staying, like it's an internal journey for you, then I feel that's different than, oh, I'm staying because the society demands it, that, oh, you must suffer, you have to stay, you can't just quit your job, See, there's always something better.
Yes.
That's
Move, leave it, call their bluff, run out, run. You will be okay.
Yes,
You'll
will
be fine. And
Honestly,
I know
it's
it
not
obviously,
the end of the world.
it always sounds like, of course, it's easy for you or whatever, but the thing is, what are you benefiting from there? Because they will still fire you at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So.
Like, imagine you're in a place where you're constantly being demoralized.
Yeah, and the truth is, toxicity as well is like you actually go to work knowing that this could be your last day, any day.
Why don't you just like take the power
and just leave?
If you're constantly being demoralized, chances are that this is already affecting your work.
Exactly.
Anytime from now, they might just fire you and see that, look, this person is not bringing in their A game anymore. So what would you prefer? To be like fired disgracefully, or to actually make that decision that, look, I'm no longer giving my best here and I think I need to leave?
Can we also talk about maybe like some of the signs? Like, are there clear signs you would probably see from the way the recruiters or the HR or whatever before you even get the interview, or even during the interview or after the interview?
I think we even need to sensitize a lot of young graduates, because for me, the way I felt like I entered One Chance was because I didn't know much.
Right.
It was like I was out of school, fresh out of school, looking for a job. I was happy, like I finished NYC like this. The next month I already had a job.
Yeah.
To everyone I was lucky. It was an amazing thing to happen. And I didn't ask myself all these questions. But when I think back now, when I think about the recruitment process, every single thing, they were all red flags were everywhere.
I always believe there are always signs.
I didn't see them.
We just
until it started manifesting itself. And even as at that, it still took me a long while to say, Che, this is wrong. Like you are, these people are wrong for treating you this way, and you shouldn't have to take this. It took me a while to come to that place where I kind of said, no, I'm not the problem. I can't be. And even if I'm the problem, it's like these people are more of a problem than I am.
Yeah.
Do you get? So
I mean, first of all, right, and I think this is common in Nigeria, they call an interview for 9 a.m. You show up at 8:45 and you're still there at 4 p.m. Come on, what do you expect?
They are testing your perseverance.
No, but seriously, what do you expect?
And it's so horrible that people just feel like, oh, if you stay, then it shows that you're a patient person. It shows that you really want the job.
It's
but
disrespectful.
It's just disrespectful to people's time.
Yeah, like clearly you don't rate me.
You don't rate me for actually intentionally making me wait. Not like, oh, something happened. And if something happened, of course, you should
communicate
tell
that.
me that.
Yes.
Oh, we're sorry,
and it shouldn't be like 5-6 hours.
Just tell me to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll come back tomorrow.
Exactly.
Or something. But I don't know. I've never been a victim of this, but I've heard stories of people actually being intentionally delayed at like where they go for interviews.
Because it's a test
just because they want to test
patience.
patience.
What they're testing is your tolerance of taking
for
shit.
nonsense.
Yes.
Please don't fall for it. Do not for that's your first red flag. I think that's like your first red flag. And I feel like you should also feel the vibe from the recruiter. And if you get to also meet the founder of the company, you should also feel the vibe. I think you just know sometimes.
And I feel like if you go into a sort of like interview setting or even just a job setting, the moment you start to feel like the boss or the HR or your superiors feel like they're doing you a favor, that's a red flag.
I mean, it's a two-way
transactional,
street, right?
yeah.
It's transactional.
You're paying me for what I'm doing.
Employers need to see that look, yes, somehow you happen to be the one doing the paying, but if I'm not doing a good job, then your company cannot grow.
And you wouldn't even pay me,
exactly.
right?
So for the fact that you need this service, it's transactional, and we're both doing each other a favor. Because if you can be both HR, both content marketer, both everything, cleaner, receptionist for your organization, then go ahead and be an octopus. But if you cannot be an octopus with 10 hands or whatever, then you need to, as an employer, appreciate the fact that, okay, I'm hiring new talent and I need to give those people respect. Just nobody's asking for anything extraordinary. Just respect that human beings deserve.
Also, there's a conversation that I kept seeing, and people would be like, no, this company is not toxic. I was there and nobody treated me anyhow. And it's like, sometimes you have to be self-aware enough to know that just because you haven't received a particular treatment doesn't mean
you
that
should invalidate the experiences of others. Because the truth is, there is workplace bias. Let's not lie. Sometimes you just start working and your boss or your manager doesn't like you for any reason,
or just even likes you for no reason.
I mean, one of the match features we did, one of the ladies actually complained that our line manager just had to complain about every single thing. That, oh, why are you walking and your butt is shaking? Why are you walking and your breast is shaking? Oh, this girl, she didn't wear a pant under her dress. A woman to a woman, no. Always harassing her. Oh, you wear a butterfly dress. Why would you wear a butterfly dress to work? Always victimizing her, always harassing her, such that she has to go meet HR at some point. That, okay, so I wore this dress. Is there any problem with what I'm wearing? And HR was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with what you're wearing. And so my line manager just said this. And like, oh, she probably just doesn't like you. Maybe you did something to her. Go and ask her. And she's like, why should I have to ask her? Is it even right that I should be treated this way? That I'm constantly being victimized by this person? I mean, and these are issues, like people not just liking you for no reason.
And I know, I know that there's certain things I wouldn't go through just because maybe people perceive me a certain way. Well, anyway, to be honest, you cannot look at me and talk to me anyhow because I will.
Is it because of your face cap or
no,
which one?
No, the thing is, I will give it back to you. That's the thing. I'm quiet too.
But do you think it also has to do with upbringing and the level of confidence we all had?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because some people need to get real, I don't know, then let me reconfigure their mind.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like sometimes you grow up in a very affirming environment where you automatically just have that sense of self confidence. But some people grew up in places where they have to constantly prove that I'm a good child. Because at the slightest provocation, they would be shouted at, they would be insulted, they would be beaten. And I think we have more of that in this country. So and the suffered mentality generally is just there. If you're not suffering, then you're not a Nigerian. They kind of pride suffering, and I think we take that into even the work of our hands. So it's hard for somebody to say, because they insulted me, I'm leaving.
No, if you insult me, I'll insult you. One of us has to leave.
But what do you think about all those one-time scenarios where it's not it's a toxic place, but maybe somebody just shouted at you? Of course, the person was wrong for doing it, but it's
and I would probably address it. It would have to be something that I just actually genuinely consider unimportant. Do you know what I mean? Okay, non-issue. But if I actually consider it an issue, we have to address it somehow, right? Because I feel like this is it. People treat you the way you allow them to, and you kind of teach people how to. And sometimes
some people are actually very, very mischievous. I think I want to use the word mischievous because they want to test you.
Yeah,
they want to
exactly.
see,
They want to see your
bring shit
limits.
to your face, and the minute you accept it,
that's it. Yeah,
Forever
because it's almost
you
like,
will accept
how
shit.
dare you stand up now?
Literally, like, how dare I've been bullying you.
How dare you now?
You're speaking up. So
You've grown wings.
You've grown wings. So it's important that when you should, it's just a lot of assertiveness that we need to learn, both as women or as a man or as a binary person. But it's just like you have to learn to be assertive, and it's not like being assertive in an arrogant way.
No,
It's like David rightly said, it's just the air. See, it's just the vibes. There's some people you cannot talk to them anyhow.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
And
like,
so that's the point I was trying to make, that just because I know that some people, I've been in situations where somebody has, shouted at somebody else, and then when it comes to me, we both did the same. We both did the same thing.
You.
I mean, it's respect time, and I'm like, I'm not going to ignore that and think just because it's not directed at me. That's the same thing we have in Nigeria now, where it's like, if you're of a certain like financial
status,
class, you don't. You're tone deaf to the reality because it doesn't directly affect you.
Directly affects you.
Then it will become a problem.
Then it becomes a problem.
And I feel like we need to do better.
But by that time, it would have eaten so deep into the system, almost a decay, that you can't fix again. So it's important that we are I think you should just say, look out for your colleague, like watch their back in that sense. If a colleague is currently being treated in a wrong way at work, even if they are not treating you that way, I mean, you should find a way to collaborate with your colleague to expose that vice in the organization. Do not be like, oh, it's none of my business. I mean, as long as they didn't come to my side, so that's it. They will soon come to your side. Because you're
enabling it as well.
Yes, they will soon come to your side. It's just a matter of time.
She leads Africa.
What about?
Were you shocked? No, the reason why I brought the reason why I brought it up was because I saw on our Instagram channel someone saying that, oh my gosh, I can't believe She Leads Africa is on this.
I mean,
like, their newsletters are so nice.
For real, see, in this life, never get too carried away by things that look too beautiful on the outside. Sometimes when something looks very beautiful on the outside, the truth is, nothing is perfect. That's just all I want you to know. Nothing is perfect, and sometimes those things that look like they're perfect, no flaws. When you lift the veil, you will see all the flaws and everything going on.
Should we take the list as gospel, or do you think some people don't understand what toxicity actually is?
Yeah, so I think like Nigerians are quick to throw the word toxic around.
Yeah.
The truth is, I think every human being needs to get to a point to realize that even you as an individual, you have a toxic trait.
Of course.
So, but we are so quick to throw that word around, toxic, because they did something that didn't suit you,
that you didn't
or maybe you did rubbish and they called you a toxic person.
Yeah.
And not everything is toxic. So maybe we even need to do a toxic 101 class to make this is what is toxic. Yeah.
If anybody is shouting at you, that's toxic, because I don't understand why you're shouting on a grown person.
Especially at work.
At work.
Exactly.
You can communicate the same thing in a normal. You don't even have to be nice. Just be normal.
And the truth is, see, if somebody is even doing nonsense at work, let's assume that this employee is at fault. There is still a way to talk to people that, see, everybody will know that yes, you were not disrespectful, but even that person will know that yes,
exactly.
Yes, I did something wrong here.
It's just professionalism.
So
right?
I guess we just all need to learn that level of emotional intelligence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So because I felt like some organizations, they were calling toxic. I was like, when you hear the explanation, I'm like, no, this one is not toxic. You are the problem, my dear.
Do you think horrible bosses or toxic bosses know that they are horrible and toxic?
Or I think someone like Ebu knows that it's toxic.
Are you sure? I feel like I actually think he thinks that's the way to do life.
No, I think Ebu knows that he's a terrible person. He cannot say he doesn't know, because I feel this has been like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode for a very long time.
I actually feel in a weird way he might be a little bit deluded into thinking that this is actually, as a boss, this is how you're supposed to be. Otherwise, they will take advantage of you. They won't do what you want them to do. You don't want to pamper them. I actually feel like in his mind he might genuinely believe that it's okay.
But when you notice the turnover rates, people saying
he will say they're lazy. They can't handle the heat, so don't come to the kitchen.
True, I mean, people say a lot of that, but I also feel like, see, because you are a founder does not automatically give you license to be a manager. So you can create something. Like, some people are great at ideating and starting things up, but they cannot maintain it. And so if you know that maybe as an individual you're not ready to learn the level of emotional intelligence and like leadership skills that will be required to lead a team, just hire a CEO. But it's just like somebody like Ebu will not allow his CEO to even be a CEO. Even CEO, but they say.
What was the other one? Daniel Emeka, the punching guy.
I think which one also had like a sexual part to the
was
story?
It was that one. Apparently, someone said they should tell Daniel to stop asking his female staff to sit on his lap. And I saw another one where apparently he would come into like the conference room and take off his shirt.
Crazy things are happening. On top of this work, we shall find.
My thing is, what level of anger or whatever will make you punch walls and doors? Come on.
It's Nigeria. We don't have a good legislative system. And I mean, do you guys think we should have like a litigation system? Like maybe law firms that are just specially for career
Everyone
people.
Is looking for money. So wherever the money is.
It's wherever the money is. Because I feel like there are some things you cannot just try abroad.
No, you won't get away with it. I mean, you can try it, but you will not get away with it. There will be consequences.
Somebody will drag you to the end of the world.
Yeah.
But here, we
Anything
mix culture
flies.
and like we mix culture with work. Like, even like at the back of our minds, we come to work with culture in mind. So they'll say, oh, just don't settle it, don't take it to court, settle it in the court, just let's talk about it, don't report your boss, don't do this and don't do that. So I mean, it would be nice to actually see some of these people brought to book, and not just on Twitter, because I feel like Twitter, it will trend and it will go.
Yeah, of course. In
it
another,
will fizzle out.
I mean, now we're probably moving on to something else.
I mean, so it's important that like legally action is taken. This boss that is punching the wall and making, when you are not, what's the Clark Kent? Are you Clark Kent?
Is it the people who are scared to leave their jobs that will now drag someone to court? No, now.
I mean, you should be scared of that. Someone that punched a hole through a door.
You should be scared to want to
domestic
leave.
violence.
But that's what I'm saying. People who feel like, what am I? Where is the next thing gonna come? I have family to feed. I have my parents to take care of. I have to endure it. Is it those people that will now drag someone to court?
I mean, if you're that person and you're watching this now, what I'm just going to tell you is, if you know you're good at what you do, or you're actually growing, you need to have an abundance mindset towards life. What are you being resilient for? You should understand, like, why are you taking so much trash? Do you have an end goal in mind, or is it just because you feel stuck? If it's just because you feel stuck, then you need to start figuring it out now. How do I find a way to get myself out of this mess? Do you want to start looking for another job? Do you want to learn a new skill that will get you out of the system? Or something. I know we don't all belong to the same social class, but that does, and you can say, oh, these people are speaking from a place of privilege, but I mean, the truth is, if you keep staying there, at some point either they will fire you, or they would have, and then you become them.
We hear of stories of people who endured this for years, and they can't even function in the new job they get because the damage is so bad. Deep. It takes years to even just building your confidence. Imagine being called stupid and you're not good for anything for 3 years, every
day of your life, like you're stupid. I mean, even if you are so confident, it's just a matter of time before it gets to you, for real. So
where or what part does HR play in all of this? Let's drag HR as we always do.
Well, I think the job of HR is actually to build an effective system to make sure that like employees, like all their needs in sense are catered to, and like communicate that to the employers. But what do you now do to HR that is even being micromanaged?
This is
by
it.
the CEO or by the founder?
This is it. To be honest, it's a catch-22 because again, HR would say the employees, right? So they also have their jobs at stake.
Exactly.
Right? So they're dancing to the tune of the
HR
founder or
like
their manager or
just
whatever.
This autonomous body
Yeah.
that can do whatever it is they want. I mean, if I hired HR, the truth is HR will do what I ask HR to do.
Yeah. But this is part of the horrible boss thing. As an HR professional, if HR is part of like your, I don't know, this might sound a bit deep, but like your calling, shouldn't you want to accept offers where you know that you are actually capable of influencing change?
Oh well, there's that. But how many organizations, like when you look at it on a ratio, how many toxic organizations do we have? How many good organizations do we have?
Yeah.
Is there space for everybody? For all the
True.
HR, so just somebody will work in those toxic places.
Very true.
And people will keep working in those toxic places.
Very true.
But at least for the fact that you belong to this community and you're watching this, you shouldn't belong to that kind of system.
But then somebody will say, you're talking from a place of privilege.
Well, say what you will. The truth is, we are just telling you that
The
there's
ideal
always a
scenario.
way. There's always a way. You can't let people keep. Because if you stay, then there'll never be a way. That's the point. There will never be a way. You'll forever be stuck. So empower yourself, get marketable skills. Put yourself out there. Pray if you believe in prayer. Like pray. Really, really pray. I believe in prayer and I've seen but if you don't believe in prayer, still empower yourself. Do the basic principles of work and follow them through. And just don't subject yourself to slavery, all in the name of how much really. And I even feel like those organizations, I know there are organizations that pay a lot of money, but I feel like it's even those ones that pay you peanuts that misuse you the most. Because
because they don't rate you enough to even pay you well in the first place.
Because at least if you are paying someone over 7 figures, good money in dollars, so next time you're already covering their money for therapy. So
but don't you think that even in those cases, and sometimes those are the ones that actually endure the worst trauma? Because it's like, after all, we're paying you and you will not get this money anywhere else.
Yes, that's true. That happens.
Let's talk about like startups. So a lot of the companies that were being dragged are startups, right? That are supposed to have this chilled culture.
What's that word they use? We're thriving, innovative, something
grammar.
team. We just, we're here to take over the world.
Yes.
And so if you know that you're a guru, you know that you're a ninja, you know that you can fly, and you can work in a self-paced environment, please, but join it. Come on, please. For how long do you want to play the startup card? To keep treating people bad and putting on unnecessary workload on people. For how long do you want to play the startup card? I know organizations that have been in business for over 10 years and they still call themselves startup. Like, what are you starting? You've been starting for the past 10 years and you have not started. You've not done anything. So any small thing, we're a startup. So we cannot pay you.
We can't pay you, and then you
have
to do everything. Graphic design.
You have to do everything.
Marketing.
And I think creatives suffer a lot on this
those
side.
who are actually multi-talented.
Creatives, because I feel like for HR's work is kind of clay. You can't tell HR to come and do content.
Right.
Do you get?
Right.
You can't tell HR to do content, but do you know that you can tell content to do HR stylishly? In sense of, let's say, you can say, put out this job posting. Do you understand? And the emails will come to your email box.
And you
look
through them, sort them
and
out,
then send them
interview
to us.
them.
You can interview them, then you now push. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like creatives are on that, like they suffer more in this. A doctor, you can't ask a doctor to come and What a doctor probably would face in terms of excess workload would be that maybe he doesn't get shifts. Maybe he has to work all through the day.
Right.
But I think creatives, when we talk about it, when we bring it to the startup tech space, I think they are the ones that suffer most, especially in advertising, those that work in advertising agencies. You know, that was one of the tweets I saw.
Right.
That when are we going to talk about the toxicity in advertising agencies and how they overwork their employees?
And how whatever the ideas are never good enough.
Never good
But then you will
enough.
not give them a good enough brief and direction. You want them to own it, but then they won't it. They come back with.
I mean, you want them to be the graphic designer, community manager. You want them to every single thing.
Yeah.
And then, even if you're a startup here, I know this person is already doing so much for you, then at least they deserve respect.
them. Yeah.
If you can't pay them, if you truly can't pay them, then at least they deserve respect from you.
Yeah.
Not that you they still take this so much on and you still give them PTSD and anxiety. I mean, it's just, for how long do you want to play the startup cards? For how long?
Startups in the mud.
In the mud, in the potos. Oh,
So
well.
I think that's it. If you have any like comments, obviously feel free to drag us too, because obviously our opinions probably not your opinion. So let's know, what do you think about everything that we've discussed.
And act your wage.
Yes.
Act your wage.
Stop trying to micromanage me. We need to talk about that. Actually.
I think we're going to talk about that in one of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for staying at least all the way, listening to all our bands and everything.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. If
Yeah.
you haven't, just go to our Instagram page at the CareerBuddy HQ.
Yeah.
Click on the link in our bio. Subscribe to our newsletter. There we share a lot of job opportunities and like a lot of startup features, and even for employers too. We teach you how to be
how to know when you're toxic.
How to know when you're toxic. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.